Hello, I'm Isaac Darnall, and this is Marshall County Close Up. Marshall County Close Up is where we find a staff member around the school, and we find information to know them more closely. And today we are here with Miss Pigg. So this is Miss Pigg's second year as an Algebra 2 teacher here at Marshall County, and when you don't see her in the classroom, you're going to see her on the basketball court coaching our Lady Marshals. So let's start off by asking, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. When you said 2 years, that was kind of surprising. I feel like it's been longer, but.
Yeah, I was right there, right? The second year, I was in your first ever Algebra 2 class,
yeah,
right?
you were. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's all good. Let's start off by jumping back to your time as a player when it comes to basketball and a star player. At that, what life lessons did basketball kind of teach you and help shape you to where you are today?
I would say the main lesson that I learned was that nothing is given to you. Like, if you want something, you have to go out and you have to earn it and you have to take it. And it's not easy, and I think that prepared me for life because I'm here because I have worked for it, and nothing was ever easy for me, and I feel like basketball prepared me for that.
Yeah, so while, as a player, did you ever have any sort of aspirations to become a coach or, desire to be a coach one day? And if so, what sparked those aspirations while being a player?
I think my senior year, it really hit me. I had a couple of options to play at smaller colleges, and I realized that I would never be able to commit my heart and my energy and my effort to another team like I did my team my senior year. So I made the decision that I did not want to be told what colleges were asking about me, and I was actually playing under Coach Beth at the time. And so then he kind of took that, and as soon as I graduated, he wanted me involved. And it was just a love that I've grown. I've always been competitive, so that part came natural, but just the learning and how to teach and apply. He thought that I was always a coach on the floor, so I feel like that might have helped, but probably not until my senior year, whenever I really realized that I could see myself doing that.
So while we're talking about you as a player, we really have to talk about where you went to school, where you played at. You went to a Marshall County rival in the Graves County Eagles. What conflict can that possibly bring now as you're a Graves County alumni? Also, top 10 in scoring in women's basketball history and for Graves County down there, but now you're also a coach for the women's basketball team here at Marshall County, and they've been rivals for a long time. We had the Brewers Redmen and the, what's the other one called? I don't even remember what they are now. But anyways, we had that sort of game. They've been rivals for a long time. What does that conflict does that maybe bring, or do you still have some secret love for Graves County in the background?
I think people forget that I have been in Marshall County. I think this is my 5th or 6th year. So I've been at Marshall just as long as I was at Graves. Yeah. I do think starting out at the middle school helped transition that. I did catch a lot of heat. My family refuses to wear orange, but my oldest sister was the first one who bought me a Marshall shirt, but it was just blue. Yeah. So they support me because they love me, but I don't think they'll ever support Marshall County. So sometimes it's a house divided. But it's okay. They know that I love them.
So even when you're on the court coaching, they're not cheering for Marshall County on that night?
Absolutely not.
Even if they're not.
I will say the regional championship last year, I did have a Graves County fan club, but that was the only game that they ever came and they supported.
So walk me through your favorite game as a player, because I know there's a game that you're thinking of that you remember probably where you maybe had a lot of points or maybe whatever it was. What was at stake in that game, and what was your stat line? Just walk me through all the things of your favorite game as a high school player.
There's a few. I mean, every game is fun. Every year brings its ups and its downs, but I would have to say the most memorable one was my senior year. It was the regional finals. We were tied late in the third quarter. I drove in, I hit an and one to put us up 1. So actually we were down 2, and then hit the shot, hit the free throw to go up 1 for the fourth quarter. And it was just, the crowd was unbelievable. You used to have people who would go to girls' basketball games. People would go and support, and I just remember Racer or CFSB, it was packed, everybody was standing up, they were cheering. It was just an unbelievable adrenaline rush, and then we ended up pushing that lead out, and we got our first regional championship and it was so special.
Do you recall maybe the stat line that you had that game? Was there anything?
I was MVP.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you stats. I never
Okay.
really kept up with that.
Humble.
That always took care of itself. So I did what I needed to do. Don't you worry. I had the stats that I needed for my team to win, but no, I couldn't. I don't remember.
That's humble. So now we're going to move on to coaching. You've played all 4 years of high school, whatever. Now you're a coach here at Marshall County. Just how would you describe your role on the coaching staff? Obviously, there's Coach Beth as the head coach, and then there's a couple other assistants. But what's your role on the coaching staff? What do you bring to the girls program?
I actually have really loved the past 2 years where I was not the one in charge, because I don't have to be the mean person all the time. So I get to really be the encourager and the supporter who builds each other up. I do kind of run our fourth block, so then I get to do a lot of skill development, which I felt like was one of my strengths. That's why I was a good middle school coach. And it's just, I get to be positive and fun, and that's good for me. It fits my personality.
So I had the opportunity to coach, assistant coach with North this year, North boys. And they almost looked at me as like the young coach who was fun, like stuff like that. At least I hope so. I think they did. But is that sort of your role? Because you are definitely you're the youngest on the coaching staff. Is that sort of your role, to just be the energy bringer, the young coach who's a lot of fun to be around, things like that?
I feel like I'm a good balance. I'm really good at reading the room, and whenever they need somebody to be hype and encourage them, I can do that. But I can also set them straight and tell them whenever they're not doing their job and they need to pick up their intensity. I feel like we have such a good relationship to where I get to kind of hit both sides of that. So
I feel like with that role, there does grow a lot of respect towards you. So now looking at this current season that we've had so far, we've got like a month or two left in the season. There was 2 heartbreaking losses to Callaway County, another one of our rivals down here in Marshall County. What was the message, especially with that role that we just discussed, you having that specific role in the coaching staff? What was specifically your message that you would bring going into the rest of the year, but then also most likely seeing them 2 more times, going to be in the districts and regionals?
After the game, I was actually the one who was negative. I was the one who really kind of challenged them and their effort and their attitudes, and I voiced that directly after the game. But luckily we had 2 days off to kind of recollect ourselves, and then yesterday we just collectively decided, I say collectively, it might have been me making them, I don't know, that we were going to change and that we were going to pick up the intensity, and I just kind of led them in that, and I encouraged them and make sure that they remembered that yes, we're going to see them 2 more times, and so that we can learn from that and forget about it, but now let's do something different so that we don't have the same outcome.
So especially like with Callaway, y'all in Callaway, at least in my opinion, and I feel like the rankings would say so, that are the best 2 teams in the region, but you're also in the same district. So does that almost boil up? And the guys were the same last year, not this year, but the guys were the same way last year. Does that almost boil up some sort of, I hate to say intense feelings towards Callaway, but does that make it even bigger of a rival, even more of a rival? Does that sort of stir up some emotions towards Callaway with them being in the district too?
I do think that it is an emotional rivalry, which is not always good. Sometimes you have to be able to put aside your emotions, and you want to win because you're a competitor, not because of the name on their jersey. So we do have to figure out kind of the balance for that. We're going to have 2 more tries more than likely to be able to figure that out. So yeah, I think so. But then at the same time, it also helps us not get so discouraged that we lost the first 2 times, because we know that we're going to see them in the district and probably the regional championship.
So as I was sitting in 3rd block writing these questions, I was actually the most excited about this one. I heard Nealon ask Coach Nelson this question, so I'm excited to hear your answer on this. Having 1 kid and near having another, what has it been like to see all the other players and all the other coaches just love on your kid? And also, what's the benefits been as y'all as a family seeing and growing your kid up in that environment? And also for the future, if you continue to coach and they get more older, to know what's going on and things like that.
It's so special. It's honestly hard to put into words just how special it is this year, even more so than last year, because my kid has an understanding of what's going on. He knows their names. He cheers for his basketball girls. He loves them and they love him. and it's just so sweet. And my husband and I both are basketball players, basketball coaches, so we hope and dream that our kid grows up loving it. And I think whenever he's in these fun environments and he grows up in the gym, that it naturally is gonna push that without forcing that on him. So it's special.
So we kind of have to wrap this up, but I do want to know your answer to this. So I just kind of need the player here. I'm curious if we agree. Who's the GOAT of basketball?
That's a hard question to ask because different times, but I think I have a hard time not voting for MJ.
Okay, well,
you don't agree?
No, we don't. I would go with LeBron, but that's going to be the end of this interview. Thank you, Miss Pigg, for yeah, I am cutting you off, but thank you, Miss Pigg, for taking your time out of your day to do this interview with us. I'm Isaac Darnall, and this has been Marshall County Close Up.